Welcome back, guys. It is the Purple Phoenix Wishes. I hope you guys are having a marvelous day. And we are going to be back with my domestic violence story. This is part 2. So, if you guys remember in the last video, I was talking about how I was going through domestic violence with a crazy ex. And I'm still not going to mention that name because it's not even worth mentioning at this point in time. And I also mentioned that I went to jail the first time of having domestic violence, so on and so forth, and how there was Mother's Day that I went to and I had bruises all over me. But let's get back into it. Let's bounce back into it because we're the bounce back gang. So I actually got a private message on TikTok from somebody. I'm not going to mention their name. I'm not going to disclose their TikTok name or anything like that. But they did tell me that knowing that some people besides them because this person is currently, trying to leave domestic violence, but they have nowhere to go. And, I was in that place at one point in time. But, you still have to make time. You still have to put yourself first and to get out of that. You still have to put yourself first to get out of that. Like, if you're worried about being homeless, go to a homeless shelter. I'd rather be homeless in a homeless shelter than stay with the domestic violence. Because it's not being out. It's being homeless and having a place that's not worth. Having a place that's not worth your life that you could possibly lose because of domestic violence. That's my advice I'm going to give you. I am not a therapist, so don't take everything I say as a professional help because I'm not a therapist. But let's get back into the story. So yeah, I went to a big Mother's Day dinner with a big family. That's where I left off on the last video. Having bruises all over my body. It was a rough time. My brother asked me what was going on. I looked at him and I was like, why don't you tell them, what happened and everything else. But he didn't. So, whatever. Part's over with. Said and done. You guys can see I dyed my hair purple because I love purple. Plus, the pink that was in here was pretty much gone, done and over with. So, purple is the color now. We love purple. Let's go. But anyways, so I stayed even though I went to jail and everything else. And after that, everything was fine. Everything was, good. So on and so forth. Snapchat again, guys. And time went on. Had a first Halloween with Jackson, which that was fun. Jackson loved it. Jackson's my kid, by the way. Yes, I have a boy. He is about to turn 5, and he's growing too fast on me. Believe it or not, he really is. But he's wonderful. He's great. He sticks up for his mommy all the time. Off topic, off the sort. He graduated from preschool not too long ago, and I made this thing with his dad and his dad's girlfriend and my boyfriend, my parents, and my brother went with his kid to celebrate his preschool graduation. And we went to a Japanese restaurant and we were taking pictures, and my mom was like, "You were looking down." And I was like, "No, I wasn't. I was looking up." And my child looks at my mom, "Don't be talking to my mommy like that." And him and my mom got into it. It was funny. It was great. You had to be there. It was great. But anyways, back into the DV story. So yeah, some time went on. And that happened in 2023. 2024. 2024. um, I forget exactly what month it was. It was like early once 2024 started, but it was after January. Um, we got into another dispute where he was hitting me again, and I was just trying to do some schoolwork, and he wasn't letting me do it. And so I'm like, yes, I got mad because I couldn't do my schoolwork, so it was whatever. Um, I honestly forget how this one even like became to what happened to me, where I ended up in the hospital. But yes, at this point, at this fight, I did end up in the hospital. Um, my child was there. Yes, he was there. He seen it. But I do remember getting kicked in my rib cage. I remember getting punched in the face a lot. Um, I called a friend for help. She was a good friend, but I ended up losing that friend because of him, because I ended up staying again. Which, after ending up in the hospital, I'm like, I tell myself now, you should have left. You should have left. You're stupid for even staying after getting put in the hospital. Um, oh, it's my boyfriend. My boyfriend Snapchatted me. He's drinking chocolate milk without me. Oh, so rude. So rude. Oh, I'm going to take a picture of me recording. But, he gets me butterflies every time. Um, but yeah, I ended up in the hospital, called a friend. I lost this good friend because of him, because I stayed. I was stupid for that. I wish I never did. But, when I ended up in the hospital, I told them what happened. And of course, my child was there to confirm it by saying, Daddy beat up mommy. I had a hand mark on my neck. I had bruises on my rib cage. My head was getting hit a lot too. They did a scan to my head, and they said something about how like I could have a concussion or whatever. And after I got looked at, and the hospital said that, they went and arrested him. He's out. He got out and everything else. You can see the dye in my freaking scalp. My goodness. When I dye my hair, I make sure I do it well. So, but I spent like a day or so by myself, like 3 days by myself. I caught back up on my schoolwork. So hey, some good came out of it. Which before this domestic violence situation happened, we were recently in a car wreck before. It was pretty rough. Someone ran a yield turn light while our light was green to go straight, and someone ran their yield arrow and they hit us. And my side of the car got worse of the impact than the driver's side, because I was on the passenger side. So I feel like me and him both were under a lot of stress at that time, because he was barely getting any work in because he's a self-contractor. Me, I was working at Victoria's Secret at the time. And, we were trying to get money for a new car. So I feel like we all were like under a lot of stress, because of the whole thing. I was trying to get as many hours as I could while he was trying to find work to do, because he was a self-contractor. But yeah, he went to jail for like 3 days. He got out. Like, me and him talked. I'm not gonna say we talked it out, because there's really nothing to talk about when it comes to stuff like that. But the case ended up being dropped. And then we're gonna fast forward to his birthday. I'm not going to disclose his birthday, but it was near time where kids started school. Um, he had a birthday, and there was drinking. Yes, I was drinking too. Not gonna lie. But I was more sober than he was. I wasn't drinking as much as he did. And my child has school the next day. So he was talking to his mom and everything else. Cool, talk to your mom, but we also need to get going at the same time because, my child has school tomorrow morning and I need to make sure he's there. And, he told me, do what you need to do. So I left him at his mom's. I took my child home to take him to bed. Well, while I pulled up to our apartment, he's calling me, texting me, threatening me, and everything else. So I go back to go get him. He's trying to get into the driver's seat, and I tell him no, he's not driving because he's not sober enough. I was sober enough to drive, obviously, because I'm still here. Well, he didn't like the fact that I wasn't going to let him drive drunk. You ain't driving with my kid in the car for one when you're drunk. You got me stuck on stupid for a start. Okay? Let's all get that across right now. You got me stuck on stupid if you think I'm going to let you drive drunk with my child in the car. Ain't happening, Linda. Alright? Alright. Well, he ended up hitting my face while I was in the driver's seat. I left again. Started texting me, calling me, telling me to come back because if I don't, this is going to happen and this is going to happen. I told him to do what he needs to do, but I still went back to try to get him anyways, and he punched me in my face again. Lost my glasses in the vehicle, and I drove off. And then I ended up turning around and coming back. And then his mom comes outside, and I said, look, I'm just trying to do what your son's telling me to do, is to come get him. I said, but he is not driving this truck drunk with my child in the truck. I said, it ain't happening. I said, I have a kid to worry about. He's got school tomorrow. I said, I got to do things I need to take care of for my child. I said, my child comes first. Me and him weren't married. Me and him were never married. My child will always come first until I get married. Then it will be my husband comes first, and then my child, and then myself. But for now, it's my child, me, and then boyfriend. Which I still put my boyfriend before me sometimes. All the time. Okay? I put myself last because I like to take care of others before I take care of myself. Oh, it's my sister! She's great. She's wonderful. Yes, my sister from another mister. She's awesome. Shout out to her. She knows who she is. So, yes. She's always hyping me up for these videos. I gotta let her know that I'm doing this video. So, but her husband came out and was like, Brittany, you never listen. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm listening because I'm here to pick him up like he told me to. And I said, do you see his text messages? Do you want to hear the voicemails? And she stepped in. She was like telling him to be quiet stuff. So he ended up being quiet. And then her son eventually comes out, gets into the passenger seat without complaining and fighting with me about it. Well, while I am down the road from our apartment, he starts choking me out while I'm driving. And I'm short. So I'm trying to reach the brake pedal to stop the truck and put it in park because he's choking me out while the truck is in motion. That was stupid on his end. And I had a video of it and everything else. And well, he finally stopped choking me out. And we got back to the apartment and we're arguing in the truck. He takes my phone, chucks it somewhere. I don't know where he chucked it to, but he chucked it somewhere. And so I tried to take his phone. That's actually my phone at that time. Because you ain't going to chuck my phone and then continue to use the phone that I'm letting you use because you decided to break yours. Ain't happening, Linda. Nope. I don't play those games. Well, his mom and his brothers end up showing up to our apartment. And I'm like, you know what? If you want your son, take your dang son. I am tired of the toxicness from him. He's a narcissist. He is manipulative. He loves to gaslight people. Manipulative. He's everything that is. It's. I don't want to badmouth him, but he's he's a real piece of work. Let me tell you. Abusive in every way, shape, or form, physically, mentally, emotionally, so on and so forth. So if you want your son, take your son. Get him away from me. I don't want him. Well, they called the cops on me because I was trying to take the phone that was mine that I was letting him use since he wouldn't go get the phone that he chucked of mine. So then I tried to leave, and the cops arrested me for trying to leave. Even though I had a video of him choking me out. They still arrested me because I was trying to leave. And I was like, look, I don't want to be around him. And they're the ones lingering around after I told them, if you want him, take him with you. I live here. I live there. And but they still took me to jail. Whatever. Take me in jail. I wasn't even there for 24 hours. I was gone before 24 hours. Honestly, I don't understand why people look at domestic violence as it's okay in a relationship, because it's not. It just causes a lot of pain to somebody's mental state. Plus, why would you want to hit your significant other? If you're not happy with somebody, just leave. And if you don't plan on being with somebody for that long, or if you don't have goals set up with somebody long term, leave them. Leave them. If you don't have good intentions with somebody, leave them. Because it ain't worth it. I'm sorry. It's not. This whole situation just makes me want to vape, so I'm vaping, guys. Oh, it's my boyfriend again. Oh, he's at work. And apparently the computers are down, so he's just chilling. Oh, yeah. The good old chilling vibes. He doesn't know we're talking about him right now, so. But yeah. If you're in a domestic situation like that, domestic violence, or if you just got out of one, I'm proud of you. If you were in a current domestic violence situation, there is people that are willing to help you. There is outlets. You just need to get help to figure out what outlets there are around you. They are discreet. They try to keep it discreet as much as possible. That way you don't have to get, so violence isn't coming at you for seeking help to get out of it. I just don't understand why people resort to domestic violence at all. It's not awesome. It's actually really terrible. It's something that I wish I would have opened my eyes up to before the second time and the third time, because I did go to jail a third time for domestic violence when I really didn't do nothing. Nobody really did anything. So not too long ago, back in March, I was about to start a job at the place I work at now. I was about to start my first day, and I went to jail the weekend before my first day. And he went out drinking with his cousin, which his cousin, she has a lot of growing up to do. She really does. She has a lot of growing up to do, and to get your cousins so drunk to where they can't even function or drive, can't even sit up to drive, or even sit up just to talk on the phone. You're not a good cousin if you let your cousin go driving off like that. I'm sorry, but that's true. That's some true facts. I would never let my cousin even get into a driver's seat of a vehicle if they are not sober. Um, but I get a call um, from him saying, "Hey, I'm at this gas station. Can you come get me? I can't drive. I'm not able to. I can't even sit up. I can't see either. Can you come get me?" So, me being nice, me being who I am, because he wasn't even living with me at the time. He was staying in hotels. I was like, "Yeah, I'll come get you. You can sleep on the couch. But I agree with you. You shouldn't be driving." And well, I took him back to my apartment and I laid him down on the couch. I got my trash can, put it next to the couch. I went to give him some blankets and stuff. But before I could grab any blankets or pillows, he was talking about, "Oh, I want to kill myself. I'm so sorry for what I did to you and Jackson. I feel so bad. That's why I want to kill myself." And I take suicide very, very serious because I've had plenty of people in my life, family, friends, kill themselves. And I take suicide very serious. So I sat down with him. I had his head right here in my arms. I was like rubbing his head, comforting him. Talk about God. I'm like, it's just the devil getting to you. I said, I'm not gonna tell you everything's fine for what you did to me and Jackson. I said, because it's not fine. It's not okay at all. I said, but you can't kill yourself over stuff like that. I said, you need to realize what you did, realize that it was wrong, and you have to grow from it. I said, you have a purpose on this earth. I said, you just need to figure out what that purpose is. And, after he was like, "Oh, you're right. So I got up to go make me a little snacky snack in the kitchen because I'm a hungry girl. I'm always hungry. Like right now, I could go for a fat steak right now. Oh, gosh, it sounds so good. But, well, while I'm in the kitchen making me a little snacky snack, this dude thought it'd be a bright idea with the kitchen knives behind me, our brand new sharp kitchen knives right behind me. He was going to lunge at me to get to the kitchen knives behind me to kill himself. And I took the kitchen knife out of his hand and I pushed him back onto the couch and I said, "You need to lay down." I said, "You need to go to sleep." I said, "Who do you think you are lunging at me to get to the knives?" I said, "That was a bad idea." I said, "You wouldn't have just hurt yourself. You would have hurt me too, trying to get that knife past me." Well, he ended up calling the cops saying that I hit him. And I'm like, "Bro, ain't nobody hit you. Calm down." So then I called the cops on him because he's being suicidal. Of course, they took me to jail. I got out less than 24 hours. So I honestly, I don't know. That part, I don't know. I don't know what to say about that because I'm still a little flabbergasted about it. To where I have to sit here and think to myself, like I tell people sometimes is that I should have went ahead and hit him that day. But then if I would have done that, they would have had actual charges on me and I wouldn't be out of jail right now. I would still be in jail because there would be evidence on the body cam, so the police officers that were there to pick me up. So we didn't do that. My boyfriend Snapchat me again. But just even with the manipulative, narcissistic, gaslighting, abusive behavior, it's not something to stay around for at all. It's really not. But we end up leaving. My mom and my current boyfriend got me out of jail. I ended up staying because I had some other stuff that I needed to take care of before I actually left that apartment complex. Which, when I left, when I did leave, Crazy X started acting crazy, like actual crazy. So I got a gym membership, and I started going to the gym after I got back out of jail. I was like, I need to do something healthy for myself, for my mental health. And I thought going to the gym would be a good idea, which it is. It's actually a good outlet. It's actually a really good outlet for anybody who needs outlets like that. The gym is a really good outlet. It's actually a really good outlet. I actually like how I went to the gym. It was great, amazing, time to myself, time to think to myself with my music and just being active. But what made him crazy was he maintains... Oh, sorry, Mike. I'm so sorry. Precious baby. He maintains the apartment building that I was living in. And there's cameras up around for security purposes. Well, he had access to watch those cameras. And every time I would leave, he was like a hawk. I wonder if he even slept. He was like a hawk watching those cameras because every time I left, he'd be like, where are you going? What are you doing? Who are you going to go to see? And I'm just like, we're not together, so why does it matter? It doesn't matter. That's the problem. It doesn't matter. I remember going to the jungle gyms with my mom, and he was like keeping a timestamp of when I left and when I was going to be back. And when I didn't get back within the amount of time that he wanted me to, because I was gone all day, I didn't get back till almost midnight. And this is actually the night that I left. He's like, I knew you were cheating on me. And I'm like, we're not together. I said, so I'm not cheating on you. Nor was I with anybody. I was with my mom. Okay. I was with my mom. And we went to jungle gyms. Calm down, Felicia. But, he was acting crazy and everything else. So when I did get back to the apartment complex, I just went ahead and grabbed all of my stuff that I had left over to pack up. I just packed it up and I threw it into my car and I zoomed up on out of there because he was headed to the apartment complex. But I was gone by the time I got there. Got to mom's around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, and I had to be at work at 6 in the morning or a little later than 6. But yeah, I would have to say, I'm gonna record this part for my boyfriend because this is about my boyfriend. You know what? I'm gonna leave that surprise for him. So, babe, if you're watching this, I've told you before, my boyfriend is the one who saved me from this crazy person back where I used to live. If it wasn't for him getting mad at me the day that I decided to stay after getting out of jail, after my mom got me out of jail, I probably would have never left. But he got mad at me and quit talking to me for a little bit. He was aggravated. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. He's had every right. But him doing that and telling me that it upset him that I stayed, knowing the stuff that I have to go through, being around this person, That is what made me leave. When I was there after getting out of jail last time, that whole thing of him saying that he was upset with me that I was staying and that he was worried about my safety and stuff, that played in my head every day up till I left. And once I realized that Crazy X is being more crazy, that part like screamed in my head, and that's when I left. So, babe, babe, thank you for sticking by my side throughout the whole entire thing, and for getting me out of jail, and for being my motivation to leave. That's why I love you. That's why I love him, guys. He's a good person. My current boyfriend is a good person. And I wouldn't trade him for the world. He's perfect the way he is. He really is. He motivates me to do better for myself and for my child, which, I mean, like, my child motivates me to be better anyways, but having someone actually tell you you can do better and that you have the potential to do better and do good things in life and tell you that you're beautiful, whatever else, like my current boyfriend, he's just perfect. He's a really good person. Wouldn't trade him for the world. He is such a gentleman. He really is. And he's talking about makes me all smiley, giggly, blushy, whatever. I don't care. I don't care how stupid or how dumb I look or how vulnerable I sound. I will talk about my boyfriend all the time because of how good of a person he is. Period. So, this is part 2. There's not going to be a part 3 of the DV story. So, peace out, guys. I love you. Have a good day. Remember, I'm going to post my TikTok in the description. So if you need to talk about it or if you need advice, like I said, I'm not a therapist, so I can give, if you can ask for advice, I can give it to you, and it's up to you to use it because I am not a therapist. So that will be something for you guys. But we'll probably continue with gaming again, or I could do more story times. If you guys have stories that you would like for me to share for you guys, I can do that. Just message me on TikTok. Be more happy to do that for you guys. So yeah, peace out, guys. Bye.